I have to be completely honest. When I was growing up, the last thing I needed to worry about was losing weight and losing body fat. I grew up a super skinny, very insecure kid with no muscle, underweight, and no confidence to go with it. But as I moved through my 20s and my lifestyle started to change, I'd moved to London. I was working in the corporate world, high stress, work hard, play hard. I was drinking a lot more and I was eating a lot more. And then around the time I turned 25, 26, I consciously decided to go on what we call a bulk. But at this time, I knew nothing about nutrition. So I just ate everything in sight. To me, it was a great excuse to have a lot more chocolate and a lot more pasta, both of which I absolutely loved. And sure enough, I gained about 20 kilos over the course of 3 years, let's say. And I went up to about 105 kilograms. But what was quite funny with that was that despite the fact that I gained about 20 kilograms in body weight, I hadn't gained much strength. I looked bigger, but I didn't look better. And I certainly wasn't any stronger as a result of it. So then I realized that I was actually just fat. And that's not what I was going for either. I realized that my sort of bulk had failed me, and this idea of just eating as much as you want wasn't going to help me at all. What I was doing was overcompensating for an insecurity. Like I say, I grew up as the skinny, insecure kid, so I was vastly overcompensating for that and went from super skinny to overweight. Anyway, around that time is when I got educated in nutrition and I became a personal trainer at the same time. And I learned the right way to do it. But before that, and when I first started working with clients, I found that myself and other people were trying to do specific exercises to lose fat from certain areas. So for example, if I wanted to lose belly fat, which was pretty much my biggest issue at the time, I was doing loads of crunches and sit-ups, and I was doing lots of cardio and all of this stuff. And if I wanted to lose love handles, I was doing like oblique crunches, like that. Not only that, I was training, and thought I was training relatively hard, but I was doing lots of isolation movements, lots of bicep curls. And truth be told, I look back on that now and the sort of training that I was doing, and it really wasn't that difficult. It really wasn't that intense. Fast forward 5 years, and now I've been an online personal trainer and a nutritionist for that time. And in that time, I've helped well over 100 guys to both lose weight and to build muscle. And most importantly, to just feel better in themselves, to feel more secure, to improve their mental health, improve their productivity, their focus, and to achieve peak performance. And in this video today, I want to talk you through the best exercises to lose weight and body fat faster, because they do exist. Now, one thing I will say is that you cannot spot reduce fat. So the mistake that I talked about earlier that I was making, and a lot of people make, is thinking that if you want to get abs, you have to work on your belly section, which kind of logically makes sense, right? If this is where the fat is, then if I do exercises on that area, I'll lose the fat from that area. And unfortunately, that's just not how our body works. You can't spot reduce fat from your belly, from your face, from your love handles, from your legs, from your bum, from wherever else you want to lose it from. But there are certain exercises that we do want you to be doing. And the reason we want you to be doing these exercises is because they burn the most calories and they elicit the best hormonal response. These exercises are called compound movements, and they are multi-joint, multi-muscle movements. In other words, they use multiple muscles, multiple joints when you are doing the exercises. So think squats, deadlifts, lunges, hip thrusts, overhead press, push-ups, press-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, bent over rows. I could go on, but you get the idea. It's what we call like the big movements. Now, not only do these exercises use multiple muscle groups and multiple joints, they also tend to use the biggest muscles in your body. Your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, your lats, your rhomboids, your chest, your shoulders. And if you're doing that using multiple muscles and using the biggest muscles, you're going to elicit the biggest calorie burn. Because the bigger the muscle the harder your body has to work for it to contract. Let me explain. So for a muscle to contract, we need your lungs to breathe in as much oxygen as possible. We then need your heart to pump the blood, because that's how the oxygen gets to the cells. We need the blood to go to the cells. And the bigger the muscle, the more oxygen, the more blood is required for that muscular contraction to take place. So if you're using 2 or 3 of these big muscles at the same time, you can imagine how much harder your body is having to work versus if you were doing a bicep curl or a tricep push down or something like that, or a crunch. So the exercises we really want you to focus on, guys, are the compound movements. Another reason we want you to focus on the compound movements is, like I said earlier, these elicit a greater and more positive hormonal response. You will quite literally feel better after you've done a hard set of leg press or squats or deadlifts or lunges or something like that. Something that really physically challenges you, but again, uses those big muscle groups as well. And there's a couple of things here, which some of them scientific, some of them, I suppose, more observational from my end. So from an observational side from my end, I think that the real definition of meditation is being able to remove the clutter from your brain, to not be worrying about all the little things that bother all of us throughout our day. And then we don't necessarily even realize they bother us because they're just lurking at the back of our head. But when you're doing something that's really hard and you really have to focus on it, ice baths are another good example of this, because you have to really focus consciously on just controlling your breathing and you can't focus on anything else. So is lifting heavy weights, so is saunas, so is sprinting. Any of these things where you really have to focus on something, even if it's just for 15, 30 seconds, it stops your brain from thinking about all of the little worries and niggles that you've been thinking about for all this time. And that to me is really what the secret mental power of exercise is of hard exercise is being able to de-stress, even if it's just for 30 seconds at a time. So that's kind of my observational side of it. The more scientific side of it is that the bigger the muscle, the better the hormonal response to that exercise. And what this tends to mean is that your body releases more HGH, which is human growth hormone, into your bloodstream. So there are exercises to lose weight faster, because ultimately, when you want to lose weight, you want to be in a calorie deficit. So you want to be decreasing the number of calories that you're putting in, consuming, eating, drinking, and you want to be increasing the number of calories that you are burning. And there's lots of ways to do that, in and outside of the gym. But when you're in the gym, you want your workouts to be about maximizing the calorie burn. But it doesn't mean you have to be spending 3 hours in the gym 7 days a week or doing crazy HIIT workouts. What I would recommend though is that you prioritize these compound movements, because the fact that they burn the most calories. And if you go in and you do, 6 sets of squats, wear an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, a Garmin, whatever you've got, and just look at how many calories you've burned versus if you go and do 6 sets of bicep curls. It will be 2, if not 3 times greater. And you can go and test this yourself. So guys, I wanted to keep this video nice and short, but ultimately, if you're looking to lose weight and you're looking to lose weight faster, the best way to do that is to probably push yourself further out your comfort zone. Because I understand that a lot of people will say, yeah, okay, well, that sounds great, and I believe all this, but I'm nervous about this. And I get it. But every person has to start somewhere. And today it's just your turn. And I think that's the best way to think about it. That's the sort of mindset I like to go into these things with. There's plenty of things that I've never done before that someday I'm going to have to do. And I just think, okay, well, today it's just my turn to bite the bullet and to do it. And you have to have a level of acceptance that because it is your first day, you're allowed to suck at it a little bit. And yeah, that's what I would say, guys. I would say go into it with the right attitude, with the right mindset, focus on these compound movements, and I can absolutely guarantee you will lose the weight faster. One other big benefit of this is that all of these compound movements, or the vast majority of them, I should say, not necessarily all of them, but the vast majority of them, they also help to build your core strength, so around your abdominals. So again, people talk about doing crunches or sit-ups or leg raises for abs, and these are all valid exercises to help build your abs. But what's really going to help build core strength and a solid set of abs is these compound exercises, because they all rely on you being able to have core strength. And you will find that not only as you progress at these exercises, does your muscle that you're focusing on grow. So for example, you're doing squats, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes will all grow and get stronger. You'll also find that your abs will feel firmer as well, even under the fat. And then as the fat goes, you'll feel them more and more, and you will thank yourself at the end, I absolutely promise you. So lots of information to take away there, guys. Hopefully that was all very actionable and useful. If it was, drop the video a nice little thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, let me know if you'd like me to do any videos or anything else. I'm posting every single day at the moment. By the way, this is day 111 of me posting on YouTube in a row. So if there's any other pieces of content you'd like me to talk about, any questions you've got, drop me a comment, let me know, and I'll see you tomorrow.